Welcome back everyone. Hope you had a wonderful weekend. Very excited to bring you this video. We worked 5 long nights to bring you our highest quality renders yet. Hope you can tell the difference. And that's for an exclusive iPhone 11 report. Some stuff in here you haven't heard anywhere else. A new product red color, our first internal look of the iPhone 11, which spells for some new and drastic changes for the iPhone's future, an Apple Pencil, megapixel count for the cameras, prices, and more. I want to remind you I am doing a giveaway for 4 gold AirPods. If you want a chance to win one of those, details down below. Details of the iPhone 11 continue to leak. In this latest image obtained by Federico Serva, it shows an iPhone 11 back glass in product red. And that means Apple could be releasing product red at the release date of the iPhone 11, not midway through the year, which would be nice. This is coming from a supplier that doesn't really have a track record, so take it as you will. But looking at the text where back replacement glass usually has some fonts that are off, it looks fairly OEM in the luster of it. So if it is true, that means a product red color could be coming to boost some sales of the iPhone 11 where the design hasn't really changed, but a color could help spruce it up. Back in February, we heard that a red color could be coming to the iPhone XS to boost sales in China. Could be that Apple just delayed that and then is releasing it with the 2019 iPhone lineup. It's immediately distinguishable as a new iPhone in that red color, the new camera, so it could help with sales. Now, why stop at product red? Here's a few more special editions, including one for Iron Man in collaboration with Marvel, support your favorite fallen superhero, and the SpaceX edition with Elon Musk. This is to fund future galactic outer space exploration, and the Tesla edition where proceeds go to removing carbon from the atmosphere. Just trying out a few new designs, always pretty funny to me. Okay, so going into this next leak, I'd like to mention that the fact that Apple has been cracking down hardcore on all of their Asian suppliers, it blows my mind that we continue to get component leaks. They've got a new team that's monitoring almost everything that they can, new screening processes. They actually hire ex-military to track down these leaks. People have been caught even digging tunnels in the factory to smuggle out these parts. It's a real big problem for them, but they can't seem to stem it. And I feel like going into the next couple of years, this problem will only be getting even bigger. So also sent to me by Federico Serva, the iPhone 11 logic board has leaked yet again. So the last one I shared with you was from the 11R. In fact, it wasn't from the iPhone 11, and now it makes more sense. The layouts, everything we've heard about it. And it's very exciting because it shows the future that Apple is designing for the iPhone on the inside. More than meets the eye here. So upon first glance, this logic board looks fairly similar to the XS series, although it is now shorter and wider. We've heard earlier that there would be some layout changes inside the iPhone. Now it makes sense. And I lined up the connectors for the power. I actually got some expert opinion here from Federico. Thank you for that. And we were able to determine somewhat of a layout Apple will be using. Now, Apple has shifted the power connector to the very top of the board if it were to be sitting in the same orientation as the XS. And that would no longer make sense. So I'm going way back to compare Raj's report with OnLeaks, where they talked about some internal design layout changes of the iPhone 11, where the logic board would sit above the battery. The battery would be almost like a square now. And this new logic board supports that theory. It actually fits perfectly, well, near perfectly around the camera, and the power connector now would come in from the bottom, which makes sense. That big long connector right there, Federico Serva says, is new. And I'm inferring it'll be one solid long connector for that triple lens camera. It makes sense, and that connector is sitting right there next to it. So considering that's the new logic board layout, that means Apple can have a much larger battery sitting below it in that square size, which would be 3,650 milliamps from what we heard earlier. This might be a little large, just an exaggeration. But the amazing thing here is that it's a tribute, almost a tribute to the original iPhone. Comparing them, they have the same layout inside. Now, is that a tribute, or was Steve just right from the very beginning? That's how it should be. It's very cool. Like, that's a major throwback. I'm genuinely fascinated by Apple's dedication to the logic board, to the processor, just in general to the internals of the iPhone. They spent billions of dollars on it, and as iFixit puts it, it's the most thought out, carefully designed product in the history of the world. And this year's iPhone will be getting an even more advanced version. Also, Federico commented that because of the layout of the logic board now and the connectors, the display, instead of opening up from left to right, will be opening up from right to left in repairs. It's not out of the question. It used to be upwards like this. and it just makes sense. And on this new logic board will sit Apple's new A13 Omega chip, the reigning champion. ICE Universe is saying Apple is focusing on multi-core performance, GPU performance, and because of that R&D they're putting into it, they'll continue to lead by 1 year ahead of competitors. They just cannot catch up. Also, Max Weinbeck said that the A13 was running hot in internal testing. Through software, they were able to mitigate that. My question now is, with this top-mounted logic board layout, would the SIM card tray be on top or still on the side through a flex ribbon connector? We really don't know. We only have one side of the logic board. We can't tell where it's going to sit at this moment, and that remains to be seen. Although it's possible Apple could get rid of SIM cards altogether and just have eSIM on the iPhone. This is more possible now because of T-Mobile's acquisition of Sprint. The Verge made an interesting argument here as to why that could happen, and I don't think it would happen for 2019. It would be like removing the headphone jack altogether, but if all carriers could get on board with this, eSIM could become the new standard. Now, yet another source, analyst group Citi, is confirming this year's iPhone will be getting support for an Apple Pencil or Stylus-like device.
A giant screen. Now, how are we going to communicate this? We don't want to carry around a mouse, right? So what are we going to do? Oh, a stylus, right? We're going to use a stylus. No. No. Who wants a stylus?
Steve Jobs wouldn't really approve of this, but times have changed. The Apple Pencil is amazing, and I'd love to see a shortened, smaller version of it for the iPhone to get some precise drawings. It makes sense. Like, obviously it wouldn't be built into the iPhone like the Note series, maybe with a case or magnetic attachment on the back. I just don't think the current Apple Pencil would suit this very well. In that same research note by Citi, they're confirming the rear megapixel count on all cameras on the 2019 iPhones will be 14 megapixels. Max Weinbeck's source is guessing 12, 12, and 14 on the ultra wide. We still don't know the positioning of those. And the front megapixel count to be 10 megapixels, which we've heard earlier will be 12 megapixels from Ming-Chi Kuo. Either way, we know that the megapixel count will be growing. The camera sensor size is growing dramatically. Last thing they mentioned in that report is the pricing of this year's iPhones, and it's very refreshing to hear that it will be staying the same. At least it's not going up in price. So the 11R will start at $749, the iPhone 11 at $999, and the 11 Max at $1,099. Storage is still unknown. Now, yes, the price isn't any lower, but I personally don't think it ever will get any lower. Even remaining at the current prices, which have been set, is still an accomplishment. The iPhone 11, you're getting a lot for your money, especially for those of you that didn't jump on the XS series. This is much more worth it. And according to Bloomberg, Apple suppliers are preparing to produce 75 million iPhone 11s, which compared to last year is the exact same number. Apple isn't planning to surpass the iPhone XS in sales, but at least they're trying to maintain the same amount here. And more 16-inch MacBook Pro rumors. According to Ming-Chi Kuo, it'll have a scissor switch keyboard. So Apple is fixing the butterfly keyboard, the biggest flaw with their patch of MacBooks from 2015. And DigiTimes is saying this thing will be releasing in September, although it may not have the drastic differences that we think. In the report, they're saying it'll have thinner bezels, but other than that, it'll be in the same body. So all those physical changes we've shown you, rounded design likely will not be happening. It'll just be the same MacBook, just streamlined display. Although the report did say the chassis would be CNC differently, so they're changing it slightly, although it may not be a night and day refresh. And as we know, Apple has purchased Intel's 5G modem business, accelerating a future where the iPhone has an in-house Apple-built modem. In a separate report by DigiTimes, they're claiming a 2020 MacBook will come with 5G connectivity built into the MacBook. Highly doubt it would be through a SIM slot. It would be eSIM capable if this were to happen. They also detail a new ceramic antenna component inside, which would boost the 5G speeds twofold. But 9to5Mac casts doubt on this entire rumor. It's just too soon for something like this to happen. They don't detail which MacBook it's coming to, but keep in mind it's very likely Apple will eventually be bringing 5G to MacBooks, just not in 2020. And another report from DigiTimes is claiming a 10.2-inch iPad is coming this fall, also likely to be released alongside the new MacBook and the new iPhone, and this will be replacing their budget 9.7-inch, which hasn't been touched in close to 2 years now. There have also been new iPads registered in the Eurasian database, suggesting yes, Apple is working on new iPads. I'm dreaming about a new iPad Pro, but from what we heard, we won't be seeing it this year. It'll be in the spring of next year. And with Samsung's new Galaxy Tab S6, we can see that dual lens cameras are coming to tablets. It's only a matter of time until Apple does pick a new camera setup on the iPad. I'm guessing it'll be dual lens at the very least. Tim Cook also confirmed that the Apple Card will be coming this month. Keep an eye out for that titanium beauty. And to finish off, it's very likely we'll be seeing iOS 12.4.1 here fairly soon, as Apple has been under heavy fire with some security issues. First, an AirDrop issue where someone next to you can get access to your phone number through a flaw in the Bluetooth packet. And two, 6 zero interaction bugs have been revealed by Google, with only 5 of them being fixed in 12.4, suggesting absolutely Apple will be releasing an update to patch the last one here fairly soon. So there it is, guys. Me personally, I'm waiting with open arms for an iPhone that can last all day with my battery life. I kid you not, I have to use 2 smart battery cases on my XS Max just to get through an entire day. Hopefully that new logic board layout, improvements to A13 means the battery life, of course with the bigger size, can last you a day, maybe more. And you better bet I'll be rocking that product red edition day one. All right, there it is, guys. Latest leaks and news. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned for the next one.